Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be fertilizing all of our perennials. So these include our blueberries as well as our strawberries right here. And then we also have the pear trees in the back that are gonna receive the same fertilizer. So let's get to it. So the first thing that we're gonna be fertilizing our blueberry plants with is a fish emulsion. So this one is a 511. This is going to be high in nitrogen, so it makes sense since the blueberry plants are coming out of dormancy. They're going to need a lot of nitrogen to grow all of their nice leafy green leaves, and this will help again produce the berries and gets them off to a great start. So we're going to add just about a tablespoon of this, and then we're also going to be adding some of our Miracle Grow plant food, and this one is a 24-8-16. Again, same concept, high in nitrogen, just to get these guys off on a good start and set them up for the future. And as I'm doing this, I have my two cats just looking at me. So cute. You're just gonna watch me make my concoction. All right, so the first thing we're gonna add is one scoop of the Miracle Grow plant food. So in that goes. Get everything in there, and then we're gonna give it one glug of the Alaska fish emulsion. So before we use the Alaskan fish emulsion, we just need to give it a good shake, since this hasn't been used all season. All right. Once we got the good shake, give it one nice glug. And then we're gonna fill this up with water. Alright, so then we're gonna fill this all the way to the top of water, and this is gonna feed all three of our blueberry plants. These blueberry plants are also acid-loving plants, so we just gotta make sure that we come in and we amend it with some soil acidifiers. So this one is from Espoma, and just grab a handful and just apply it in a ring around the base of the blueberry plant. That should be good. Then we'll move on to the next one. Again, this one's a little bit bigger. Just gonna give it some more. And these also have a little bit of nutrients in there as well. So this is gonna should be enough to acidify the soil. These blueberries like a soil pH level of about around 5. That's where they really thrive and produce all the berries. So now that we got our soil acidifier down, we're going to come in with our liquid fertilizer and just make sure we water this in nice and evenly. So it just rained the past couple days, so the soil is moist, so it should take in this water nicely. If you just came in and just gave it to the plants all dry, all of this would probably just run off, and then also cause some burning to the plants, because all of this nutrient at once is no good. All right, now that we've done that for our blueberry plants, now we're gonna do the same for our strawberry plants. We're still going to put the Alaskan fish emulsion as well as the Miracle Grow plant food. And we are back at the pears. These are the pears in my backyard, and wow, we can see that it put on a lot of new growth. Actually, this is all from maybe like 2 weeks worth. So I got to come in here and give these guys some fertilizer so they can really get more growth going on. All right, hope you guys enjoyed that quick part. Now let's get on to the worms. Alright, so welcome back to another worm video. This time, before we get started, I just wanted to give a quick shout out to one of our subscribers. He saw that I had a bit of a fly issue here in the garage, and he gifted me a fly light. So I'm going to get this installed, and shout out to you, Keith. Got it up and running. Now I'm just gonna place it on the back shelf here, since I don't want to like really screw it into the wall. I'm just gonna leave it back here. Perfect. Alright, so if you guys recalled from last time, we tried new bedding for our worm nurseries. We tried shredded cardboard, which is all in here right now, and we wanted to see if that would be able to replace, you know, buying coco coir for the worms for them, you know, to mate. But the result is that it did not work out too well. I wasn't really able to separate the worms from the cardboard, and I wasn't able to really see where the eggs were. So I'm gonna be going back to the coco coir with shredded paper for them to mate, and then sifting them every month to separate the eggs and the worm, and then, you know, restarting the process again. So shredded cardboard is good for worm bedding use in general if you were not to breed them, but for breeding them, it is much better to use coco coir and shredded paper combined. And while we're at it, this is all of the worms that were used in the nursery in here. So we're just going to flip through it. Just gonna see where we can find a big worm ball, like right here. They're all right here, all over this apple. Very nice. A little wet, but these worms are going to be again divvied up into our worm nurseries and start the mating process all over again. So they won't be here for long. I'm just going to count out a couple hundred worms for each of the bins and get them started. Alright, first things first that we're going to do is we're going to get some of the coco coir, and this one is already pre-moistened, and I left it here overnight and it just expanded in the block form. So I'm just going to just separate this out and get it moistened up again. So what I like to do is get a 50-50 blend of both coco coir and the shredded paper. So this seems a little bit too much for the worms, so we're just gonna take some out. Right, so that's good. And then we're gonna get some shredded paper in here. And as you guys know, I always like to use company secrets. There we go. Alright, so we're going to get this moistened up, and then we'll be back. Alright, so I got the worm bin set up with the coco coir and the shredded paper. Now we're just gonna introduce the worms into here so they can get started in breeding. So got a lot of fresh worms in here, so I'm not gonna count how many exactly, but I'm just gonna pick them up and then throw them in. Just gonna grab a handful, so just like that. Found a lot in that corner right here. Look at that worm ball. Very nice. Just throw them in. Alright, so I think that's a good enough amount. So I'm just gonna mix these guys up in their new home and let them get to work. And before we put them away, just gotta feed them. So what I got here today is some fresh mangoes for them. I got them some pear skin. Got them some orange peels. So I think that should be good enough for them right now. So we're just going to cover it up. Alright, and then let them get to work. So that's one bin done, and I'm going to do that for the rest of the bins. Alright, so we just got done setting up our new worm nursery, and now this was one of the old ones, and I decided to harvest the worm castings from it. So I let it dry out for a little bit. There's still going to be some worms in here, and I'm sure there's still some cocoons in here as well. So what we're going to do is just going to sift out the castings, and then we're going to leave whatever's left for the worms to hatch out if there are any, and to collect any worms and then throw them into another bin for them to live out and grow in. So let's get to that. Alright, and here we are left with just all the finely sifted castings. And as you can see, this is some really great stuff. You can apply this straight into the garden, and it's really light fertilizer. Most research show that this is a 100 NPK, so very light. You can apply this in your house plants, very good, and it retains the moisture really well, and has a lot of beneficial bacteria as well, and microbes. So this is some really great stuff. I'm going to be applying this straight into our garden, and there's no worms and no worm cocoons in here either. And then here on the other side, we have the not so finely sifted worm castings. This is more shaped like casting pellets actually. But these, I'm just gonna leave it here. Or actually no, I'll just put these into one of our existing worm bins and let the worms grow out there, and just free up this bin for my other use. So I'm gonna get to that. So I know what you guys are really here for. You guys want to see an update on the worm nurseries. This one is the first one that we made. So let's see how the worms are doing in here. So we're gonna look through it and dig these up. It's really moist. Oh yeah. Right off the bat, you can see a lot of the worms right up here at the surface. Yeah, we can definitely see a lot here. Got a lot of the fresh ones. New babies coming out. Oops, I think I dropped some. But wow. Bin's looking really good and healthy, and you can see that a lot of the shredded paper that was put in here to begin with are disappearing. So it just goes to show that they are still eating that just fine. I got a comment the other day saying that we shouldn't really be using bleach paper, and I get that. It's not really the best for the worms. What would be better is if we use the shredded cardboard, but no harm, no foul. These guys are doing just fine, and it's easier for me to determine if they've eaten the shredded paper or not already. So these guys are doing just fine. Maybe another month for them to get up to size, and then they could start the reproduction process as well. So for that, let's get these guys fed. So first we're gonna just come in here with some company secrets, and then we're gonna feed them with whatever we have frozen. And my grandma, of course, she likes to contribute as well. So a lot of these produce is from her. This is, I don't know what this is. It was orange, and then this is some kind of those like Chinese vegetables that you can see in the market, the long one with no leaves. So we'll put that in here, and that should be enough to feed them for the week. And if anything, they'll just again eat the shredded paper because they've been doing just fine with that. And the moisture level in here is a little bit too wet for me, so I'm not gonna add anything, and we're just gonna cover it back up and then put it back. This is the worm nursery number 2. So we fed in the middle, and we see that there is a slight indentation in the middle because food as they eat it disappears, the space fills in. So let's just dig in. Let's go into the middle again first, and right off the right again. You just see a lot of worms just in and out of there. These guys are not fully mature. Again, they're only like about a month old. They're just in here all over. Yeah, just so many worms, which I'm really happy. That means the Coca-Cola worm nursery really was effective in producing a lot of eggs. I didn't get a count, but just seeing from the amount of worms in here, it was probably in the thousand range. And also keep in mind that I have also sold some already. So I did pick out some from here. I just grabbed a handful, didn't really count, but I believe that what I gave to the customer was more than what they wanted. Though eventually the worms will grow out, and had a mix of adults and babies in there, so definitely more than what they needed. Alright, and then again, we'll just come in here with the shredded paper. And then with some of the food that my grandma collects for me. Alright, this amount should be good for them. Oh, and then another thing that I have recently been adding is my pulverized eggshells. So we just go in there like that, and then cover it back up. And again, this moisture is a little bit too high for me as well, so I'm just gonna leave it and cover it up. And we're just moving along to the third one. Yep, and every single one, I see so many baby worms. In the first like 2 months, I was kind of worried because I wasn't seeing anything. But now, given 3 months later, now that I see all of the baby worms are out and about and no longer, and every single cocoon in here has hatched, I'm quite pleased with the results. I was doubtful that so many would hatch, but really thankful for that. So these are my little money makers right here, hopefully. All right. Again, nothing too special. We're just going to go in with everything the same. This one might need a little bit more, so I'm just gonna add another bag of what my grandma collects for me. So in here we have, wow, she cut it really well. It's professional Asian right there. This is pear, I believe. I'm just gonna put that in, and that should be good. All right. Actually, did start a lot of worm nurseries. Didn't realize I had like 5 months worth of babies here. This one's not as much yet. Still waiting for them to hatch out, but eventually they will. Given maybe another 2 weeks to a month, I believe this bin will be full of the baby worms as well. So, not gonna lose hope. I did see the results from the last 3. Definitely did have a lot. But there are still some worms in here, so we're not gonna neglect this one. We're still going to give him some food and some shredded paper. So add some of that. Add some food, not too much because I didn't see not too many in here. So we're just gonna come in with the eggshells. Doing this bent over is a lot of work. My back hurts. This one, yeah, I could already see some baby worms in here. Again, not too many. This was the other half of the one I just showed. I was a little heavy-handed with the coco coir, the bedding last time around, so definitely took mental note not to give too much bedding, or else you're gonna have to split up the bins like this. All right, nothing to show here, so come in. Still gotta feed them. That a little bit of scraps should be enough, and then a bit of the eggshells. one more bin. And here I believe this is a mixed bin still. So again, need to figure out what lives in here and start separating them. But I'm gonna wait for all of these worms to mature first before I start doing any of that, and then also collect the worm castings from in here. Moisture seems okay as well. Just gotta give them some food. Since I'm gonna be collecting it soon, I'm not gonna give it any bedding. I'm just gonna throw in some food. Oh, and then another long piece of pear skin. Then cover it up. Okay. That should be all for the worm bins. Now onto my Indian blue worm bin. So whatever was on top, I'm just gonna dump it in. Now, this is where a lot of the worms are. Yeah. This bin's really moist. So here we can see definitely a lot of worms. Let me see if I can find a worm ball and then show you guys a close-up of it. Since this one is closed, I need to come in here and mix it every single week. So it's gonna have pockets of buildup of anaerobic bacteria, which makes this bin smell really bad. But the bin has to be closed again because these are Indian blue worms and they will escape. Since the volume here is much bigger, I can't really seem to find a big worm ball for you guys. Can't really get a big worm ball for you guys to see, but definitely there's a lot more worms here than any other bin. The concentration here is much larger. So after I'm done, this bin is really wet, so I need to add a lot of the shredded paper in here. Just sprinkle on top to absorb some of it. Then we come in with all of the remaining food. We just dump it in. This is pretty much my worm trash bin. And they'll pretty much just eat everything, because again, Indian blue worms do eat a lot. What is this? Oh, that's plastic. Come in again. Some more of the shredded paper. Cover it up. Come through with some of the eggshell. Cover it back up, and that should be it. Alright, so I hope you enjoyed that combination video of both the worms and me fertilizing my plants. Alright, see you next time.